Boom. The world is ending. The army is failing. Martial law is in effect. And the president says we, yes, including you, are all cooked. Now imagine your only hope are veterans who have logged more hours on a game deader than Among Us. Yeah, we're in great hands. Meet Kang Sung-ho. He's a failed streamer, a shut-in, and a burnout. But he has a secret. Survival life. That dead VR game he spent so much time on is happening in real life. Now, a dimensional gate has opened in his living room, and he's about to show the world why he's the... Another day, another national address. We open on President Jang Won-taek, looking all serious and presidential. He clears his throat, asking for a moment of silence, probably to remember his approval ratings. And here we go, straight into the deep end. He's declared martial law. The army's taken over, roads are closed. You know, all the fun stuff that happens when the government slightly overreacts. Or maybe not. He's lighting a cigarette, shaking a little. Okay, this is more than just a new tax plan. He looks like his Epstein files got leaked. He wanted us to face a dignified end? Oh, now my last narration did not age well. And there it is. The scenario from the game Survival Life is happening in reality. The asteroid from that game? Yeah, it's real. Somebody's getting fired for that leak. He even gives it a name, Yunjam B. Giving a cutesy name to the rock that's about to end humanity is a choice. Cut to the control room, and it is pure chaos. The US military has failed to intercept it. Shocker. Their one job, and they miss the giant space rock. So, as a result, the asteroid crashes near Okinawa. You can just feel the property values plummeting. And by crashes, I mean it causes a massive explosion. Catastrophic damage is the understatement of the century. That's right, folks. Regrettably, the people of Japan are currently turning into zombies. Because of course they are. It's always zombies. And the zombie spores from that damn Yunjam B, as he so eloquently puts it, are gonna make landfall in our country, today, at 1 p.m. Well, there go my afternoon plans. My fellow citizens, we cannot avoid the zombie apocalypse. Props for honesty, I guess. No sugarcoating it, just straight up, bro really said we are all doomed. But wait, there's a little twist. It seems a small number of people, the awakened, might be immune. Ah, so it's a zombie apocalypse with a gotcha mechanic. Lovely. They've installed time shelters at marked locations. Great, a safe place to wait it out. But they will be opened 1 year from now. 1 year. So, survive for a year, then you get a prize. Got it. Lastly, a little how-to guide for the early stage monsters, to be distributed by airplanes. Nothing says, we're prepared, like dropping IKEA instructions for monster slaying from the sky. All thermal power plants will be shut down. So, no electricity. And he admits he's a man of many shortcomings. You don't say. And with a final bow on the TV, he says it's been an honor. Let us all meet again, alive and well. Right. Let's see how that works out for everyone. The TV clicks off. Someone sighs. Ugh, I truly hoped the end wouldn't come. Yeah, join the club, pal. But here we meet our protagonist, Kang Sung-ho. He's already geared up, but since it's already here, I've got to survive, right? Now that's the spirit. Everyone else is panicking, and this guy's treating it like another Tuesday. With a psycho grin and his adorable dog, he stands ready. He calls himself a veteran of the apocalypse. This isn't his first rodeo, even if it's the world's first rodeo. Man's best friend is also battle-ready. And we flash back a few months ago to a ruined city street swarming with zombies. This must be the game the president was talking about. A couple of guys stand over the horde, looking bored. Meet the players. First up, Duckbutt Peck Peck, a guy whose hair is as ridiculous as his name. He's worried about losing a bet. And then there's Rabbit Gongju, a dude built like a tank, wearing bunny ears. This is the team, huh? We are so screwed. And the peanut gallery chimes in. Here's Survivor 1, a lady in a strawberry print apron and cat ears, calling them out for getting their kills stolen. The fashion in this apocalypse is just inspired. Not to be left out, Kimbap Joa, a flashy blonde archer, smugly adds his 2 cents. Am I wrong? He asks, posing like he's in one direction. He claims the other two are nothing without their flashy moves, which, coming from him, is the pot calling the kettle fabulous. This whole clown show is the game. survival life. And it looks like our boy Peck Peck is tired of the smack talk, diving headfirst into the horde. "You'd better not regret it," he screams. Famous last words, buddy. Because this game is not your average zombie slayer. This game had the brilliant idea of mixing zombies and fantasy monsters. Because why stick to one genre when you can just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks? It boasted an insane difficulty that made even hardcore Korean gamers flinch. And you know it's bad when the pros are rage quitting. Peck Peck gets absolutely rocked mid-air. The game shot to the top of the charts on release, probably because everyone who plays this game is a masochist light. But just his luck, Peek Peek's about to get styled on by a giant meat shield. The meat shield gets blown to bits, because that's what happens when you're the first one to charge in. A valuable lesson in not being the main character. So after a year, the game achieved the magnificent feat of having only 4 concurrent players. They're telling our boy Kimbap Joa to take the last hit, probably for some pity points. And Kimbap Nim, ever the showman, charges up a massive laser arrow, all for one single, solitary zombie. It's the definition of overkill, and it is beautiful. A piece of shitty game. That's what Kimbap calls it. All that effort for a single kill. You can feel the burnout from here. And after the battle, the crew is just done. Laying on a rooftop, surrounded by the fruits of their non-labor. The game is so boring, there's nothing left to do. The ultimate endgame content. Existential dread. But wait, Kimbap Joa spots something on the public chat. A message, a sign of life in the barren wasteland of the general chat channel. The PC tag means it's a genuine newbie. Rabbit Gongju smells fresh meat. These guys are so bored, they're about to adopt the first new player they've seen in months. The player count is now 5. The game is booming. The newbie is so thankful for the guide, and the veterans are practically glowing. They look like proud parents seeing their kid off to school. The newbie says he'll hit them up after the tutorial, and then immediately says the tutorial is too hard, and he's giving up. The absolute whiplash on their faces is priceless. Their one hope for new content, crushed in an instant. CYA. The gang goes right back to complaining. They keep updating content, but they can't lower the difficulty. Rabbit Gongju, in his infinite wisdom and underwear, wonders what's going on inside the devs' heads. Don't we all, man? Don't we all? And with that, they're logging off. Even the guy in bunny ears has had enough for one day. Survivor 1 starts to log off too. Survivor 1 waves goodbye. You can tell they're a real team, even with the weird outfits. The kind of dysfunctional family you can only find in a dying MMO. As they log off one by one, he feels it. The journey had reached its end. Man, this got depressing fast. So even as the other veterans logged in less and less, he remained. He streamed day and night, waiting for them, recording update videos just to have a reason to play. Several months passed, and then an update. The tutorial difficulty was drastically lowered. The early game experience was improved. A little too little, a little too late, devs. He welcomed the massive update, a fresh wave of content to explore. But his friends never came back. He was left alone in the spotlight, waiting for a party that was already over. And then, the final nail in the coffin. The Survival Life service is being permanently terminated in 1 week. So, what were they waiting for? For him to give up? Apparently, yes. He wanted to catch one last monster with his friends before quitting, but the game quit on him first. Sounds like some foreshadowing to me. A wave of despair washes over him. He hits the stop recording button and takes off the gear. The dream is over. Then he deletes the streaming account where he'd broadcast for 5,500 hours. 5,500. That's more subscribers than I have on this channel. He can't bring himself to toss the hard drive though. Some memories are too heavy to delete. And now, we're back to reality. Meet Kang Sung-ho, also known as the Burnout Bro. He's 3 months into living a proper life, which apparently means running a tteokbokki joint. The reason his ID was Kimbap Joa? Simple. The man loves kimbap. And tteokbokki. He turned his favorite foods into his job. He's been running this snack shop for 3 years, from top-tier gamer to top-tier kimbap roller. It's a career path, I guess. And as you can see, business is pretty good. The place is packed with students. He's the king of the after-school rush. He runs the business on the first floor of the house he inherited after losing his parents in his second year of high school. The second floor is his home. Man, that's a classic tragic backstory right there. we got a bingo. Just as he's about to serve some food, one of the customers calls out his name. Songhoa Joshi. And here she is, the local pretty girl trope. Her name is Mi Kyung, and business is booming whenever she shows up. I see what's happening here. He hasn't been able to ask for her last name. She's a local hairdresser and a regular customer. He admits it's no secret that she's pretty. Hey man, let me find out. For a friend. She leans in, asking if he's seen this. He has no idea what she's talking about, but he's definitely not complaining about the proximity. She shows him a post that's trending in the online communities. Some dude claims he got a status window to pop up just by shouting it out loud. The comments are a war zone between people calling it fake and others saying it worked. The internet, ladies and gentlemen. She tried it earlier, but sadly, nothing came up for her. She's pouting, genuinely disappointed that she didn't unlock her secret anime powers. It's adorable and a little sad. He just laughs it off. Ha ha ha, Mi Kyung-si. There's no way that would actually appear. Aren't you a little too gullible? Oh, the irony. It's so thick you could cut it with a knife. But later, when he's alone, you know he's got to try it. For science, for the meme. He whispers it, just in case. Status window. And something happens. He flinches, startled. Wait a minute. Wow! A giant blue window materializes in front of him with a crackle of digital energy. The status window is real. Q, can we get much higher? He's sweating, completely stunned. Holy crap, for real? It actually showed up? Yes, my dude. Welcome to the rest of your life. He looks at the stats. Health 11, Strength 12. These are basically NPC numbers. But then he sees it, a special trait. And he feels like he's seen this all before, in survival life. His PTSD from that shitty game is finally paying off. But wait, he thinks. Sura didn't have a trait system. This is something new. His unique skill? Trait. Open private portal. It can only be used by the trait holder, and the command is open portal. He thinks for a second. The command is a little lame though. You get godlike powers, and your first thought is to critique the UI. A true gamer. Lame or not, he's gonna use it. He raises his hand and yells, "Open portal!" And just like that, a glowing blue portal rips open in his apartment. Whoa, awesome. It looks exactly like the labyrinth gate from Sura. He just brought the game into the real world. This is fine. He grabs his head, having a full-on existential crisis. Is this really the survival life system? The 5 stages of grief have officially begun. Stage 1, denial with a hint of panic. He tries to rationalize it. If it were real, there'd be at least an article about Unjambi. He pulls out his phone to fact-check the apocalypse, because Google knows all. He searches and his heart drops. There it is, a news article. Asteroid Unjambi being monitored by NASA. They say the probability of it approaching Earth is close to 0. But it's real. Shit. There actually is one. He starts spiraling. No, 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 no. It could just be a coincidence, right? Too early to jump to conclusions, right? He's trying so hard to cope. He turns back to the glowing, reality-defying portal in his room. If it's really happening, could there be some kind of proof inside? He stares into the abyss, wondering if he should take that first step. The ultimate, do you accept the quest moment. There are 32 days until the apocalypse arrives. The countdown has begun. Our boy has 1 month to go from burnout bro to humanity's last hope. No pressure.
Now, he's staring into the abyss of his portal, thinking there might be proof inside. Proof of what, you ask? Oh, just the end of the entire world. No big deal. Kang Song-ho's survival instincts finally kick in, and he asks the million-dollar question, isn't it too dangerous to go in without a plan? Which is a great question to ask after you've already decided to go in. So what's this master planner's brilliant strategy? This pinnacle of tactical thinking? He grabs a soup ladle and just sticks it in there. To, you know, feel the ground. Peak survival strategy, right there. He pulls out the ladle and, it's just dirt. A wave of relief washes over him. Okay, so it's not a labyrinth, probably just a warp gate to somewhere else on Earth. His logic is, surprisingly sound, for a guy who uses kitchen utensils for reconnaissance. And with his minimal safety check complete, he grabs his backpack. The time for hesitation is over. The time for questionable life choices, however, is just beginning. He stands before the shimmering gate, a lone figure ready to leap into the unknown. One last moment of contemplation, and then he's all in. Let's see where this rabbit hole goes. And... whoa! This is not his grimy apartment anymore. The air is fresh, the light is bright, our boy looks like he's just discovered color for the first time. He tumbles out of the portal, which hangs in midair before vanishing, dropping him unceremoniously into a lush, vibrant forest. Is this for real? He wonders. Yeah, buddy. It's real. His first brilliant observation in this strange new world? He turns to a random bird and says, "The weather is a bit cold, isn't it? You got teleported to another dimension, my guy, and your first instinct is small talk about the weather, with a bird." He pulls out his phone, and surprise, no signal. He deduces this must be a remote area. You think? You just fell out of a magic sky hole, Sherlock. Okay, planning mode activate. He can't confirm where he is, so the priority is to explore and leave markers. He whips out a marker and draws a neat little square on a tree, like a post-apocalyptic Hansel and Gretel. And so, our hero begins his trek, a lone figure wandering through an endless sea of green. The sheer scale of this place is starting to set in. And the novelty has officially worn off. He cries out to the sky, "This is killing me. Why is this forest so big? Welcome to the great outdoors, city boy. It's bigger than your apartment." Worn out and desperate, he mutters, "Please, let something show up now." And because the universe has a terrible sense of humor, something does. In the bushes behind him, two glowing red eyes appear. Before he can even react, a flash of red light erupts from the trees and wooah. He gets blasted sideways, sent flying like a bowling pin. Well, he wanted something to show up. And the creature steps out. It's a majestic, pure white deer with glowing antlers. A system window pops up, Valley Deer. This is it. The moment Kang Song-ho realizes, this place isn't Earth. He's might have been ice-skied. After all that drama, the laser-eyed deer just, casually strolls past him. Doesn't even give him a second glance. It just zapped him and went on with its day. What even is this place? Kang Song-ho lets out a sigh of relief. Okay, so it might have stared at him with murderous intent and shot a laser out of its face, but it doesn't seem aggressive. Right. Perfectly logical. He starts thinking. He hasn't found proof of the apocalypse yet. If it were the stone monkeys or humped boars he knew from the game Sura, that'd be different. But a valley deer? That's a new one. His gamer knowledge might not be a perfect cheat sheet after all. But as he grabs the hilt of his knife, a cold realization dawns on him. This place, whatever it is, it's all about survival. His instincts, honed by years of playing a death game, are screaming at him. He stands firm, knife in hand. For so long, he wanted to deny it, to hope that the disaster he saw coming was just a figment of his imagination. He wanted to believe humanity wasn't doomed. But that hope was short-lived. Because he ended up finding it. The proof. Standing before him is a glowing, ethereal tree, bearing a single, shimmering fruit. A system window confirms it, Sun Apple. This changes everything. He plucks the glowing apple from the tree, holding it in his hand. It should be fine, right, he asks himself, because eating strange, glowing fruit in a magical forest has always been a good idea in stories. But this isn't just any fruit, it's a test. And he's about to see if his gamer knowledge holds up. Without any more hesitation, he takes a massive crunch. A system notification immediately pops up. Your stamina has been slightly restored. The effect is instant, undeniable, and eerily familiar. It confirms the game's rules apply here, but the true implication of this apple is about to hit him. The effect of the apple, it's exactly the same as the Sun Apple juice from the game's cash shop. This isn't just a similar world, it's a world running on pay-to-win mechanics. He just laughs. A dark, hollow laugh. There's no more room for doubt. It's not a dream, it's not a coincidence, it's real. And he's standing right in the middle of it. He says it himself, this pretty much confirms it. And if the magic apple wasn't enough, there was one other little detail he noticed earlier. Goblin droppings. Yeah. Fantasy monster poop. That's the nail in the coffin. The undeniable, smelly proof. He grabs his head, a wave of despair and certainty washing over him. He says his own name, Kang Song-ho, like he's reintroducing himself to this terrifying new reality. It's time to stop denying it and just accept it. His eyes narrow. The denial is gone, replaced by a cold, hard resolve. There's only one thought left in his mind, stark and terrifying. The end is coming. With his horrifying epiphany complete, Kang Song-ho doesn't waste a second. He zips back through his portal and immediately gets to work. No time for crying or existential dread. It's time to prepare. First on the list, digging out an old hard drive to review his early game footage from Sura. He pulls up the data. An alien asteroid, Unjambai, is set to fall near Okinawa on July 20th. That's the trigger. Zombie spores, zombification, and then 5 hours later, the Iron Death disease. He checks the current date. He has 32 days left until the world goes to hell. As he clicks through his old files, he's reminded that Survival Life, the game that's now his reality, was full of the most annoying, user-unfriendly mechanics imaginable. It wasn't a game made for fun, it was a game made to be a pain. And the most absolute garbage mechanic of them all was the Iron Death disease. Imagine every piece of metal you rely on, your car, your weapons, your infrastructure just turning to rust and dust in an instant. It was a plague that didn't attack people, but civilization itself. 5 hours after the zombie spores hit, this wave of decay would sweep through, crumbling every piece of metal it touched. The disease was designed to be a total reset button, instantly knocking humanity right back to the Stone Age. No guns, no cars, no modern technology. Just sticks and stones against a world of monsters. Of course, the Iron Death disease does eventually go away, but that's where the other shoe drops. The problem is that it takes anywhere from 6 months to a year to subside. A year without metal. A year of trying to survive zombies and monsters without modern weapons. It's an absolute death sentence. However, and this is the biggest, however, in history, this catastrophic, civilization-ending plague was completely meaningless to him. Because the trait he obtained is private portal. His own personal pocket dimension that the disease can't get through. He has the ultimate cheat code. With his analysis finished and his master plan forming, Kang Song-ho begins the most important shopping trip of his life. He uses all the money he's saved up to buy everything a prepper could dream of: body armor, knives, food, tools, medicine, and even solar panels for power. The apocalyptic shopping spree is in full swing. As soon as morning comes, he's at the store, stocking up on supplies. Every can of food, every tool, is another day he gets to live. And on the way home, he makes a special purchase through a private sale. He picks up a heavy-duty, 60-pound hunting bow. He knows guns will be useless soon. He's already thinking 3 steps ahead. A brief moment of doubt flickers through his mind. Is he the only one taking this seriously? Is he just overreacting? He looks up at the sky and scoffs at the thought. Best case scenario, the world doesn't end and he just has to struggle for a few years. Worst case, he dies. Yeah, no. He'd rather be the crazy guy who overreacted and lived. Back at his own small shop, he doesn't hesitate. He slaps a temporarily closed sign on the door, claiming it's for remodeling. He can't afford to waste a single second on his old life. Not when a new one is about to be forced on him. Just as he's about to head back, a voice cuts through the air. Hook. Ajiasi. A young woman, his neighbor, has spotted him. The cheerful young woman, meek young SSI, asks if he's closing down the shop. He quickly cooks up a lie about the place being old and needing a remodel, trying to keep a low profile. You can't exactly tell your neighbor you're prepping for the zombie apocalypse. She cheerfully remarks that he must have made a lot of money, and he just sweats, trying to play it cool. Nah, not that much. It's just old. Smooth. He tries to brush her off, saying he has things to do, but she seems like she wants to say something more. Ajiasi, by any chance? But she decides to change her mind and say goodbye. As Mikyung SSI walks away, he can't help but wonder what she was trying to say. There's a hint of a story there, a normal life problem. And in any other situation, he could have just asked. But he keeps his mouth shut. I can smell the foreshadowing from a mile away. He has more important things to do. Serious things. Back in his room, with the bow he just bought, he utters the words that have become his lifeline. Open portal. See, Kang Song-ho wasn't a brawler in the game. His gameplay style was that of a planner. He's the guy who studies the boss's attack patterns for a week, crafts the perfect strategy, and then executes it flawlessly. He takes aim with his new 60-pound bow, and to his surprise, it's easier to draw than he thought. He fires again and again, a huge grin spreading across his face. If I can just aim well, this might be doable. His focus sharpens, channeling his inner gamer instincts as he prepares to let the arrow fly. He lets the arrow loose and it flies in a perfect arc. And hits the target dead on. Okay, reality check. He can only draw the string properly about 5 times before his arms feel like jelly. But it's a start. He looks at his scraped fingers and decides, starting today, it's time for some serious strength training. Having finished his basic preparations, he moves on to the next step. His face is all business. It's time to lay out the master plan. Step 1, he needs to figure out if he can actually hunt monsters as he is now. It's one thing to have the gear, but it's another to have the guts. And step 2, he needs to build a hideout here, in the portal world. A safe place to store the mountain of supplies he's been buying. This forest is about to become his new home and warehouse. Of course, he's not an idiot. Until the rest of his weapons and supplies arrive, he's not going to do anything stupid, like, say, trying to take on a whole nest of monsters by himself. And just as he's thinking that, he spots them. More sun apples, just hanging there for the taking. He climbs the tree with a massive grin. Damn, my luck is insane. It really is. This dude is basically tripping over power-ups. This is his philosophy. Preparing for every situation. Thinking about the future. It's how he survived a game designed to kill you. His eyes scan the forest floor, and then he spots it. Found it. A small, unassuming pile on the ground. To anyone else, it's just waste. To him, it's a target. Goblin droppings. Now why was he specifically looking for goblin poop? Simple. In Sura, goblins are pack monsters. They live in groups. So finding a single, isolated pile of droppings is abnormal. It means there's a lone goblin nearby. He examines it closer. The fact that it's mostly undigested seed suggests the goblin hasn't been eating properly. His prediction was right. This is an outcast. A weak, starving goblin, separated from its group. The perfect test subject. A grim determination sets in. He has to find this guy, whatever it takes. It's not often you get a chance to test your mettle in a real fight with a live, albeit pathetic, target. As he tracks his prey, the sky begins to darken. He's running out of daylight. The hunt is on, and the clock is ticking. The forest grows louder as night falls, the air filled with the howling of wolves. He knows he's getting close to a valley, a natural choke point. And where there's water. And there it is. Hunkered by the stream, just as he predicted. A goblin. The real deal. It looks, creepily identical to the ones from the game Sura. Every nasty detail, from its pointed ears to its gnarled skin, is perfectly rendered in reality. And for reference, the game classifies goblins as a low-tier species. Their main weapons are spears and poison darts. Not exactly top of the food chain material. But their favorite pastime is incapacitating opponents with paralyzing poison and then tormenting them. They're not just monsters, they're sadists. Which is exactly why he chose a bow. He knocks an arrow, his entire focus narrowing on the target. This is it. The first test. He tells himself to stay calm, but you can feel the adrenaline. He gets a better look. It's an old goblin. And just as he suspected, because it was exiled, it's not carrying a spear or any poison darts. It's weak. It's vulnerable. It's perfect. He takes a deep breath, draws the string back, and tells himself, just don't get nervous. I can hunt it. He lets the arrow fly with a sharp twang. Bullseye. The arrow sinks deep into the goblin's arm. It lets out a piercing shriek, a sound of pure agony. Not a kill shot, but a solid hit. But the goblin, despite the arrow in its shoulder, is tough. It turns to face him, blood dripping from the wound. So you're a seasoned veteran, is that it? It seems to say with its eyes. This isn't going to be easy. The goblin charges, and Kang Song-ho realizes ranged combat is over. He drops the bow and pulls out his knife. It's time for Plan B, frantic stabbing. He meets the goblin's charge, a blur of motion as man and monster collide in the twilight. The goblin is faster than he expected, lunging forward with its dagger. It sinks it right into his leg. This bastard. The pain is searing, but the shock is worse. This isn't a game anymore. This is real pain, real blood. But Kang Song-ho is a veteran for a reason. He tackles the goblin, sending them both tumbling to the ground. He ends up on top, pinning the creature down. He raises his knife, the goblin shrieking beneath him. This is his chance. And with a guttural roar, he plunges the blade deep into the goblin's chest. A sickening crunch echoes through the forest. The goblin lets out one last, gurgling death rattle, and then, silence. Its red eyes fade to black. He collapses on top of the corpse, panting, bleeding, but victorious. A system window dings, you have acquired 2 points. He did it. He laughs, a raw, triumphant sound. He really did it. As the goblin's body fades into motes of light, it leaves behind a small, glowing pouch. The loot drop. Just like in the game. He opens it up. Guaca powder and vegetable oil? His gamer brain immediately connects the dots. In Sura, if you combine these two, you get a healing ointment. Just what he needs for his leg. No time to rest. He knows he has to bury the remains. If the goblin's pack finds the body, he's in for a world of hurt. He starts digging frantically with his bare hands. There's another reason for his haste. A nasty piece of game lore flashes in his mind. If you leave a corpse out in the open, it can turn into a bone creeper, a much more dangerous type of undead. He is not dealing with that tonight. As he's digging, he glances at the stream and spots something. A flash of crimson in the water. Oh, a red trout? His blood runs cold. That innocent observation about the fish suddenly clicks into place with a horrifying piece of game trivia. He looks back at the water, his eyes wide with dawning dread. Wait, if this is a valley where red trout live. A shadow falls over him. A massive, unnatural shadow. He slowly turns, his heart pounding in his chest, praying he's wrong. Don't tell me. And there it is. Looming over him like a furry, feathered mountain of death. A creature that should only exist in nightmares and high-level dungeons. A system window confirms his worst fear, OWLBR. All he can think, as he stares up at the apex predator he just stumbled upon, is, I'm so cooked. We open on a lecture hall where our hero, a cheerful blonde man, is giving the most riveting summary on monster ecology. His chat, predictably, is bored out of their minds. One guy's just spamming woof woof, another is saying this is why no one shows up. But our guy is passionate, what can I say? And what's this? A donation. See, that's all it takes to get this guy's attention. He completely ignores the haters and gives a big ol' thank you to Bulsangman Nim. The person in the foreground, wearing a VR headset, is getting a front row seat to this riveting lecture. He gets back to his presentation, warning his massive audience about the most dangerous things in the forest. First up, werewolves and owlbears. You know, standard fantasy campfire stories. Nothing to see here. He gets real specific about the owlbear, flexing his incredibly niche knowledge. He strikes a pose, showing off his abs for some reason, and explains that an owlbear establishing a territory is actually a good thing. Why? Because it means the monster ecosystem is balanced. He says this with the confidence of a man who's spent way too much time in a virtual world. Remember this tidbit, folks, it might be on the test later. And just like that, we snap back to reality. Or, whatever this is. The guy from the VR headset, Kang Song-ho, is now in that very same forest. The fun, happy memories of the stream are gone, replaced by, well, this. Because he's staring death right in the face. A massive owlbear, looking 10 times scarier than the cartoon version, looms over him. And of course, the first thought that pops into his head is the classic anime trope: is this my life flashing before my eyes? But no. He shakes it off. For him, this isn't some dramatic final moment. It's more like a flashback from his old buddies, basically, his gamer knowledge telling him to get a grip. This guy's built different. He starts analyzing the situation like he's still in the game. He remembers the lecture from his streamer days: owlbears tear apart anything they see when they're hungry. But this one? It's just standing there. Which means, it's not hungry. It's just annoyed. He looks down at the water, and the fish. And it clicks. The owlbear isn't mad at him, it's mad that he's invaded its territory. More specifically, he's standing in its favorite fishing spot. Bro, you do not mess with a man's fishing spot. So, if that's the case, how does he get out of this? His eyes narrow. There's only one way. It's always the one way with these protagonists, isn't it? And here's the inner conflict laid bare. His mind is Kimbapja, the pro gamer, the master strategist. But his body is just Kang Song-ho. A normal dude. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is, you know, probably about to get mauled. Still. He grits his teeth, sweat pouring down his face. He has to do it. He has to do it if he wants to live. So he screams. Come on. And the owlbear, probably tired of this internal monologue, charges right back at him. But our boy's got a plan. Remember that lecture? The owlbear has an owl's head, giving it great night vision. But, it's weak to sunlight. He's memorized the pattern. All he has to do is execute. Easy, right? He dodges a wild swing from the beast, moving with more agility than you'd expect. He knows, there's only one timing. One chance to pull this off. A flash of red light streaks across his face as he prepares to make his move. This is it. The point of no return. The only way to create a strong light effect in a dark forest like this, is to get up close and personal. He uses the owlbear's own arm as a ramp and sprints towards its head. And shine it directly in its eyes. He uses the reflection off his knife, creating a blinding flash of light. A perfectly executed plan from our veteran gamer. The owlbear reels back, roaring in agony. The light is too much for its sensitive eyes. And in that moment of triumph, Kang Song-ho holds his ground, knowing he just pulled off the impossible. Ring ring ring. Wait, what? We're no longer in a forest. We're in a bedroom. An alarm clock is going off. Was that all a dream? Kang Song-ho sits up in bed, his whole body aches. If it was a dream, it was a pretty physical one. The kind of dream that leaves you feeling like you just got that Jake Paul vs. Anthony Joshua treatment. He slams his hand down on the alarm clock. It's 8 a.m. Did he pass out as soon as he got out? For real? Man, fighting for your life really takes it out of you. And then the memory hits him, not as a thought, but as a jolt of pure, physical terror. The frantic chase, the snapping beak, it wasn't a dream. It was real. He sits there, a disheveled mess, with the single, profound thought, ugh, I really don't ever want to see one again. His body, however, is already running on fumes. A sharp cramp seizes his side, and as the exhaustion truly sets in, a distant, foggy thought bubbles up. Come to think of it, I haven't eaten since yesterday afternoon. It's less of a priority, and more of a final status report before a total system failure. And the after effects of his little excursion hit him like a truck. Kang Song-ho faceplants onto the floor, completely drained. Turns out, your body not being on the same level as your mind is a bit of a problem. He complains that his legs have no strength, but then, his eyes land on his backpack. It's glowing. And inside, are those apples? You're telling me he can bring stuff back from the game world? Now this is a game changer. He crawls over, pulls out a glowing sun apple, and takes a bite. A system window immediately pops up, your stamina has been restored. He's instantly flooded with a golden aura, feeling more alive than ever. So, video game logic applies to recovery, too. Forget Gatorade, I want some of that. And just like that, he's back to 100%. With a fresh, almost holy glow around him, his first thought isn't about the impending apocalypse or the monsters, it's about food. Alright, shall we go fill my stomach? A man after my own heart. He gets to a local restaurant, looking, well, he looks like a guy who just fought a mythical beast and came back from the dead. A little out of place, to say the least. And of course, just when he thinks he can get a quiet meal, someone recognizes him. Meekyoung SSI pops up out of nowhere, hitting him with a peace sign. She says this is her second favorite restaurant, but her timing is suspiciously convenient. He's trying to ask why she's sitting with him, but she's already made herself comfortable, saying it's nice to have a meal buddy. Our boy is clearly not used to this level of social interaction. You can see the panic in his eyes. She cuts right to the chase, asking if he ever tried that thing she mentioned before. Our boy, Mid-Chu, asks. The status window? Oh boy. This is not the dinner conversation he was expecting. Her eyes light up. Yes. The status window. Did you try it? She's way too enthusiastic about this. And just like that, Song-ho realizes, this is why she was acting so weird before. She knows. She shoves her phone in his face, showing him a news article about a bunch of cash mysteriously disappearing from a convenience store. As if that's proof. Song-ho is just sitting there thinking, is this person naive, or just pure? The line is very, very thin right now. He sees right through her. It's way too obvious what she's trying to ask. So, he does what any sensible person would do in a world where knowledge is literally power, he lies. Right to her face. Yes, I tried, but unfortunately, it didn't show up for me smooth. And his lie is completely justified. He thinks about his unique trait, the ability to open a private portal. It's not some flashy, combat-oriented power. It's something different. Something personal. It's a skill that's specialized for solo play, not for running around in a party. A power meant for a lone wolf, not a team player. Besides, in a world where his own safety isn't even guaranteed, why would he ever reveal his hand? Revealing a unique, non-combat skill like his in the middle of an apocalypse? That's no different from putting up a giant neon sign that says, "Please come and eat me," it's just smart playing. But the fact that Meekyoung is still asking about awakening means, she's probably awakened herself. Just as he's figuring this out, she interrupts him with a sudden apology. He asks her what she's sorry for, and she gets all shy and admits. Actually, there's something I lied about too. Oh, the plot thickens. We got a regular spy movie happening in this diner. He takes a moment, sizing her up. He decides she seems like a good person, despite the mutual deception. So he plays it cool. It's okay, he says, you don't have to tell me right now. And then he drops this absolute gem of a line on her, we still have time. Please tell me later, when you feel brave enough. That's some cold, calculated, main character energy right there. He's not just playing the game, he's playing the people in it. Leaving the diner and its drama behind, he gets home just in time to see a delivery truck. And it's not just 1 or 2 boxes. It's a whole truckload. He calls the delivery guys the goats, and for real, in the apocalypse, these guys are the true MVPs. He thanks the driver, who is just happy to be doing his job. All the things he ordered online are finally starting to arrive. We love a man who respects service workers. And here it is, the apocalypse prepper's dream haul. A gas mask, a fireproof suit, pepper spray, a fire axe, a small gasoline can, a plumbing pipe, a fire extinguisher, and a portable telescope. This isn't just a random shopping spree, this is a carefully selected loadout for a very specific operation, and every piece has its purpose. Because his mission today is to find a space that can serve as a permanent hideout. He grips the handle of his new axe, ready to head back into the world of Sura. This time, he's not just exploring, he's conquering. Axe in hand, Kang Song-ho steps through his personal portal. He's on a mission, and his face says it all. He has to secure a hideout, no matter what. This is the first step to surviving in this new world. And we're back in the lush, green world of Sura. Our boy pops his head out of a bush, looking around like a meerkat. He's in stealth mode. His eyes land on a small cave nestled in the rocks. It's secluded, defensible, and a little voice in his head, the voice of 1,000 hours of grinding, tells him, this is perfect for a hideout. But first, recon. He whips out his brand new portable telescope. A perfect hideout is useless if a dragon lives there. The key is finding out what kind of monster he's about to evict. He scans the ground near the entrance and... Ooh! Jackpot! The ground is covered in tiny, 3-toed footprints. He immediately recognizes them. Aren't those kobold footprints? A sincere, genuine smile spreads across his face. This is a massive stroke of luck. Kobolds are low-tier mobs. For a veteran like him, this is the equivalent of finding a starter home in a great neighborhood. Now the plan begins. He knows his strategy will work on most low-tier monsters, but he's not taking any chances. He plucks a leaf, letting it float on the breeze. First step, check the wind direction. This is 200 IQ gameplay right here. He knows that for the nocturnal kobolds, who would be sleeping deep inside the cave right now, his plan is going to be like absolute poison. It's cruel, it's efficient, and it's genius. He gets to work gathering firewood. Turns out, breaking branches with a fancy knife is a bit tougher than he thought. Even pro gamers have to deal with real-world physics sometimes. After a bit of a struggle, he arranges the firewood in a neat pile right at the cave entrance. Yep, that should do it. Stage 1 of the plan is complete. Next, he pulls out the gasoline can and generously douses the firewood. There will be no survivors. Or, well, no one left in the cave, at least. Alright, now I just have to set it on fire. He's cut off by a sleepy groan from inside the cave. A little speech bubble just says. Cobalt. His plan might have just hit a tiny snag. And right on cue, 2 green, scaly kobolds stumble out of the darkness, yawning and stretching. They look about as dangerous as sleepy puppies right now. They haven't even noticed him. We get a nice close-up of our new friends. Yep. Definitely kobolds. All teeth and sleepy lizard dog energy. Kinda cute, in a monstrous way. Song-ho, ever the smooth operator, just gives them a little wave. Ah, hello. The sheer awkwardness of this moment is killing me. The pleasantries are over. He immediately lunges forward, fire axe raised high. It's eviction time, boys. And with one clean, swift motion, he buries the axe in the first kobold's head. A brutal, efficient kill. He's not here to play games, pun intended. The kobold drops without a fight. He wonders if their drowsiness was a status effect. He's shocked that a one-turn kill is even possible for him right now. He's stronger than he thought. And cue the pop-up. Ding! Your level has risen to 1. You have acquired a total of 4 points. That's what I'm talking about. The first level up feels so good. He decides to mess with his new stat points later. First, business. Before any more of them wake up, he flicks his lighter and drops it onto the gasoline-soaked wood. The pile instantly ignites into a roaring blaze. Now, for a little lesson from Professor Kimbapja. In the game, Sura, all low-tier monsters had one thing in common. As the smoke pours into the cave, he explains the critical weakness he's exploiting. They were vulnerable to sudden phenomena. And having your house filled with thick, choking smoke definitely counts as a sudden phenomenon. We see a kobold inside, choking on the fumes. Song-ho muses that, sure, burning them directly would be more effective than just smoking them out, but as the new tenant, that would make cleaning up a huge pain. This man is thinking about property maintenance in the middle of a monster purge. That's a level of pragmatism you just have to respect. Therefore, the strategy he chose was to smoke them out and deal with them as they come. The final shot is of an angry kobold emerging from the smoke, ready to face whatever's outside. This should be fun. Then, to finish them off while they can't tell which way is up. A whole pack of kobolds pours out of the cave, choking and screaming, completely disoriented by the smoke. They stumble out into the light, blinded and confused. They are completely vulnerable. And our boy is ready to take full advantage. He dons his gas mask and fireproof suit. With his trusty fire axe in hand, he looks like a demonic firefighter ready to go to work. And he wades right into the chaos, swinging his axe in a beautiful, deadly arc. He is a whirlwind of destruction, clearing out the trash mobs with brutal efficiency. A bigger kobold charges at him, roaring what sounds suspiciously like JBL? Bro, wrong monster. Get your lines right. But Song-ho isn't just playing with medieval rules. He pulls out his pepper spray and gives the big guy a full blast right in the face. Queek. That's the sound of modern warfare meeting fantasy, baby. The kobold is completely incapacitated, screaming and clawing at its own face. Yeah, that stuff is no joke. It looks like he gooned all over him. And while it's blinded by the fury of 1,000 suns, Song-ho steps in and delivers a final, merciful blow with his axe. Another one bites the dust. He looks around at the bodies, now holding a pipe. He spots the last one hiding in the back. In the coldest voice possible, he just says, "Now it's just you left, huh?" It's the leader. And it's cowering in fear. So much for being the boss. Song-ho looks down on the pathetic creature, a single word echoing in the silence. Goodbye. With one final, brutal slam, he ends it. He stands over the fallen leader, his silhouette framed by the dark cave. Your hideout. I'll make good use of it. The eviction is complete. After the battle, he takes off his mask, catching his breath. He admits that even though he dealt with them easily, the fact that he has no base stamina made it really tough. He's exhausted. He checks his stats. It's just like the game, right down to the exhaustion debuff. And he lets out a classic gamer complaint, the fact that you don't get status points even when you level up. The struggle is real, my friends. Still, he knows leveling up isn't just about stats. It unlocks convenience systems like the shops. He steps into his new home, a sense of accomplishment washing over him. More than the level up, more than the shop, he now has a secure space. A secure space that only he can use. A massive, triumphant grin spreads across his face. This is victory. This is safety. This is a real home base. He turns to survey his new property, ready to settle in, and, oh, it's a mess. He lets out a heavy sigh. Well, I'll have to clean the nest first, though. Even in the apocalypse, you can't escape chores. And in case we forgot, the apocalypse arrives in 30 days. All roads lead to Rome. So, after all that fighting, our boy Kong Song-ho finally has a place to call his own. A real fixer-upper. And by that, I mean it's a literal cave. But hey, no HOA fees. First thing on the agenda, a little spring cleaning. The hideout is about 15 meters deep, which is cozy. But as he's exploring his new bachelor pad, he comes across a little welcome gift from the previous tenants. And, oh, that's just nasty. After a big fight, the last thing you want to do is scrub monster filth off the floor. Song-ho lets out a righteous tirade against the former occupants. You kobold bastards. Can't you clean up after yourselves? Still, having a safe space in this crazy new world is a massive win. And it's time to take out the trash. But when your trash can is a dimensional portal, things get a lot more convenient. Being able to just pop back and forth between worlds without any restrictions is a total game changer. Need to throw out goblin leftovers? Portal. Need to grab the interdimensional equivalent of a Swiffer? Portal. Easier, my ass. Song-ho is completely wiped out. Turns out, even with cheats, manual labor is still, labor. He's so tired he could pass out. The apocalypse is rough, man. But as he's wallowing in his exhaustion, a thought pops into his head. He realizes the most surprising thing about crossing dimensions wasn't the monsters or the magic, it was something else entirely. He could fix the coordinates between his home and the hideout. Which leads to a crazy idea. He stands before the portal, garden hose in hand, and wonders. Will this really work? And the answer is a resounding yes. Because even when an object is straddling both Earth and the other world, interaction is still possible. My man has literally connected his bathroom to a fantasy dungeon. That's sick. He's literally power washing a goblin lair. Work smarter, not harder, folks. This is peak apocalyptic innovation. And voila! After a bit of interdimensional hydroblasting, the place is actually looking pretty decent. You can practically see the property value going up. Of course, the work is never done. He'll have to wipe off the, stubborn bloodstains here and there. And then pour some concrete on the floor. For that modern, industrial chic apocalypse vibe. He's already planning out the next steps. Mortar work, sandwich panels, this isn't just a hideout, it's a full-blown construction project. But as he's lost in thought, his eyes catch a glimmer in the rock. And it's not just any glimmer. It's lumen stone and ignis stone. The starter pack for any adventurer worth their salt. It's like finding a rare drop in the tutorial area. Wow! These were essential items for newbies back in the game. He's not just surviving, he's thriving. This isn't a cave, it's a gold mine. A wide, greedy smile spreads across his face. Once he's done with construction, it's time to start mining. The apocalypse is looking more and more profitable. The next day. The countdown clock ticks down to D29. We're back on Earth, outside a place called Tasty Song-ho's Snack Bar. Coincidence? I think not. Back in his apartment, Song-ho is feeling the aftermath of his productive day. He is aching all over. Turns out, power washing a cave is a full-body workout. He looks at his arm and, wow. He's covered in small cuts. He's so used to life-threatening injuries that he didn't even notice the paper cuts of monster slaying. It's not bad enough to waste one of his precious solar apples. But he's got all this loot from the other side, the gears in his head start turning again. He decides to check the effect of one of his new items, a strange-looking gourd. Time to play Apocalypse Apothecary. First up, craft some healing ointment. The recipe is simple enough, even for a non-alchemist. You just put some guaca powder and vegetable oil in a 5:5 ratio. And you stir until it hardens. It's like he's on a post-apocalyptic cooking show. Welcome back to Baking with Song-ho. And just like that, he's crafted a quite usable ointment. It slightly heals wounds. For someone used to the kitchen, this is a piece of cake. This little tub of goo is proof that his game knowledge is paying off. He slathers some on his arm and, it definitely feels like it's healing. Okay, so he's a fighter, a real estate mogul, and now a certified pharmacist. The problem solving is going great. But, is this really a sustainable solution? But as he's admiring his handiwork, a sobering thought occurs to him. This ointment is nice and all, but is this really the play? Having to get into stabbing range of every monster just to survive? He knows that to raise his stats, he has to keep grinding like this, day in and day out. But at this rate, he feels like he's going to die from exhaustion before the real catastrophe even begins. So, he starts thinking about ranged options. A sling, maybe, less affected by terrain than a bow. Or, let's be real, a gun. Something to even the odds before the enemy gets close. And as he's brainstorming, something clicks. A memory from the game, deep in the archives of his veteran brain. Wait a second. There is one thing that comes to mind. A piece of lore from the game. A side story, really. The backstory of a place called Seola. It wasn't part of the main quest, just some flavor text. But if that backstory is set to happen in reality as well, that could change things. Either way, it's not useless information. He immediately starts digging through his old files, searching for any scrap of data he can find on the topic. Because if the same precursor phenomenon from the game's lore happens here, in the real world, it'll be beneficial in more ways than one. It's definitely worth looking for. A new quest has just appeared, and it was written by himself. With a new goal in mind, he heads up to the rooftop to prep for construction. And sure enough, the delivery guy actually managed to haul all those bags of mortar up there at dawn. What a legend. He'd ordered more bags last night, and thanks to his Portal Express delivery service, getting them into the hideout was progressing smoothly. Again, work smarter, not harder. Then it was time to pick up the rest of his supplies. He heads down to the first floor, where a bunch of packages are waiting for him. But just as he's about to haul the boxes away, he hears a familiar, sing-song voice call his name. Mr. Song-ho. It's his friendly neighborhood barber, Mi-kyung. She pops out to say hello, asking if he's changed his address since she's been seeing him so much lately. He has no idea what she's talking about. She says she sees him often these days, which leaves him baffled. He's been going out every day to eat tteokbokki, but he hasn't seen her. Mi-kyung is flustered, realizing her stalking has been noticed. She apologizes, saying she's been busy with her shop remodeling, but Song-ho just smiles, figuring she must be pretty observant. Or, a little bit of a Sae-seeing fan. She points out that he used to come in for a haircut only once every 3 months. Now, she sees him almost every day. She's got a point. He admits that's true, and she jumps on the opportunity. Since they're on the topic, how about a haircut right now? Her sales tactics are direct. You know what? He does need a haircut for all the exploration he's been doing. He agrees. It's practical, and maybe it'll get his friendly neighborhood stalker off his back. And so, Song-ho finds himself in the barber's chair, looking like a disheveled rock star. Mi-kyung asks for his order. His response? Just shave it all off. She's taken aback. Why the drastic change? He tells her he wants to shave it as a sign of a fresh start. It's the classic anime protagonist move, and he's leaning into it hard. Aha! That she understands. If it's for a noble cause like that, she'll make it as pretty as possible. She gets her spray bottle ready, about to work her magic. As she's working, she makes an observation. His shoulders, they look broader. She asks if he's been exercising. He just plays it cool, saying yeah, it must be working. The secret Surabad workout plan is paying off. And then, as she's snipping away, Mi-kyung just casually drops a lore bomb. Apparently, she's heard the status window is related to the game Survival Life. Song-ho, trying to keep his cool, just replies, "Oh really, on the outside." But when she continues, saying that the awakened are people who played the game at least once, his poker face shatters. He's not the only one. This whole time, he thought he was a bug in the system, a one-of-a-kind glitch. But he's just a feature. This revelation hits him like a truck. His mind is racing. This changes everything. He immediately grills Mi-kyung, asking where she got this bombshell information from. But before she can answer, the door chimes, and in walks this guy. Meet In-hak, a local tow truck driver with terrible taste in music and even worse taste in tattoos. Mi-kyung nervously asks why he's here, and he says he's come to share info. And Song-ho realizes this is her source. This guy? In-hak starts ranting about some bastard who's trying to monopolize information by deleting his videos and running away. Song-ho just sits there, getting a haircut, thinking, wait a minute. He's talking about me. Oh, and it gets better. He proudly announces that his group is actively trying to track down where this information monopolizer lives. Mi-kyung, bless her heart, points out that's, illegal. But In-hak just brushes her off. He gets right in her face, all puffed up and aggressive. Geez, Miss Mi-kyung, he scoffs, are we really in a position to be picky? The answer is yes, my dude. Yes, you are. He insists that catching this Kimbaplover bastard, that Song-ho's old streamer name, is for the public good. Meanwhile, Song-ho is just processing the absolute audacity. They're really looking for him. In-hak then pivots to pressuring Mi-kyung to join their team. He's on a full-on recruitment drive in the middle of a haircut. Song-ho's internal monologue is just a flat line of pure, unadulterated annoyance. The accusation is ridiculous. Monopoly? Song-ho deleted the videos because he had a reality check. He didn't have time to think about any of this monopoly nonsense. But In-hak is just getting started. He gets handsy, throwing an arm around Mi-kyung, ranting about how things are progressing just like Seola. All Song-ho can think is, disgusting. Look at him, acting like he knows everything. In-hak whines that if that bastard had just uploaded the info, none of this would be happening. Song-ho is just sitting there thinking, to hear him talk, you'd think I owed him money or something. The entitlement is off the charts. He leans in, trying to intimidate her. I can't wait long, he says. All the while, Song-ho is wondering, what if the online community really is plastered with insults about him? If so, should he just share the information? Maybe it would get these vultures off his back. In-hak presses on, telling Mi-kyung to hurry up and decide, when he's suddenly cut off. A quiet, but firm voice from the barber chair says, "Hey, you." It's Song-ho. With a completely deadpan expression, he says, I don't know what you're talking about, but can we talk later? He's done listening. In-hak is absolutely furious. He spins around, demanding, what? Who do you think you are? And that's when he gets his answer. Song-ho's eyes glow a menacing red. Leave while I'm asking nicely, he says, his voice dangerously low. If you don't want to get flushed red like last time. Oh, it's a callback. KUK. The sound escapes In-hak's throat as pure, unfiltered terror washes over his face. He remembers exactly what happened last time. And just like that, the bully turns into a coward. He stammers that it seems like today isn't the day, and makes a hasty retreat. Mi-kyung can only watch, stunned, as he practically flees the shop. Mi-kyung lets out a huge sigh of relief. The tension in the room instantly vanishes. Her hero is a guy getting a buzz cut. Song-ho, ever the smooth operator, turns to her. He tells her that guy is bad news and that they should exchange numbers, you know, just in case. Rizpocalypse level 100. Having returned home with a fresh new haircut, Song-ho puts the construction on hold for a moment and fires up his computer. It's time to see what the internet mob is saying about him. He searches for Kimbaplover and... yikes. The real-time board is a dumpster fire. He deleted all the videos. Where did this Kimbaplover bastard run off to? If his address comes out, I'm killing him. The internet remains undefeated. Yep, the community was completely plastered with insults about him. Every post was trying to find the sh*tty Kimbaplover bastard. But then he sees something that makes his blood run cold. There are also posts from In-Hack's crew about Jong Mi-kyung. Guys, the leader says to seduce that hair salon girl he mentioned last time and bring her. He shuts the computer down. The sheer degeneracy is enough to make anyone lose faith in humanity. But he's a veteran. His mental state didn't break, he's just sick of their crap. Instead of getting angry, though, his head clears up. The path forward becomes crystal clear. He opens a portal, a cold resolve settling over him. For the next 2 days, he throws himself into manual labor. He channels all his stress and frustration into the end of a pickaxe, mining the hell out of the Lumenstone and Ignis Stone in his new hideout. It's cheaper than therapy. He gets the mortar ready, pours the makeshift concrete, and evenly spreads it across the cave floor. It's hard, grueling work, but it's progress. With the foundation laid, he steps outside to let it dry. A moment of peace after 2 straight days of grinding. He looks up at the moon, a solitary beacon in the darkness of this strange new world. And standing there, he has a thought. Fight injustice, with injustice. He clenches his fist, a new creed hardening in his heart. He's not a hero. He's just an individual, with no grand sense of duty. Yeah, in the end, only he needs to survive. It's not noble, it's not righteous, it's just reality. But just as he makes that dark resolution and turns to go back inside, a sound makes him freeze. He whips his head around, his survival instinct screaming. He's not alone. A bone creeper. A low-level mob, sure, but it appears out of nowhere, right on his doorstep. Not good. The monster's eyes begin to glow, charging up an attack. Song-ho's mood, already in the gutter, somehow finds a new low. His day just went from bad to worse. And then, with a deafening boom, the bone creeper self-destructs. It's a classic move for this monster type, but he was too close. The situation is now, officially, seriously fucked. And to top it all off, there's now 27 days to the apocalypse.